So, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. So, this is our topic, manufacturing bulk and sterile products. Because what happens that in a quaternary care hospital, how many types of hospitals are there? There are primary, secondary, tertiary, and quaternary care hospitals. The four types of hospitals: primary, secondary, tertiary, and quaternary care. Mostly in our country, we have up to tertiary care hospitals. Our hospitals and civil hospitals, whatever it is, these are up to tertiary care hospitals. Now in the world, mostly the big hospitals, now they have quaternary care hospital, quaternary care healthcare. They have quaternary care. The fourth step is that in certain hospitals, they have their own production unit. They have their own pharmacy production units. So where most of the products which are not available in the market or which are not available, so they have to manufacture facility at their hospitals. They have most of the hospitals which are quaternary, minded that it is a quaternary care hospital which have their pharmaceutical production unit. So mostly they don't rely upon the finished drugs. They may purchase from the market, so they have to manufacture unit in their hospital. Besides that, mostly under the supervision, under the control of a pharmacist. Now, anyone has seen that one of our hospital? They have a small unit. They have a small production unit where they have to prepare, they have to manufacture, they have to some drugs which are not sometimes available in the market. So mostly they have to put TPN, total, parenteral nutrition, and some other drugs. But in quaternary care hospitals, they mostly have their own production units where pharmacists are employed for the production. So you can see that in this first hospital pharmacist production services, now it is other than that. You have to do dispensing, you have to do various services in the hospitals, but this is mostly found in a quaternary care hospital. They have their own production services. Will manufacture what they have to make preparations that can be prepared more economical than they purchased. What happened that sometimes the drugs are very costly. The patients cannot bear the cost. So what happens that the hospital has to prepare because they have to utilize the services of pharmacists in their hospital. Now they have various type of their units. They have sterile products. They have sterile products in which they have to prepare injectables, ophthalmic, whatever is found under this heading, sterile preparation, they have to manufacture sterile preparation. Then they have to put non-sterile, means tablet, capsule, whatever. None. Some have radio pharmaceuticals. Nowadays, it is the age of radio pharmaceuticals, which are used for various diagnostic and various treatment processes. Then they have to go for cytotoxic. What are cytotoxic drugs? Which are applied against the cancer patients. They have to prepare, they have to manufacture, they have to that one, that cytotoxic drugs also. So there's another one is before that. So what? They have sterile, non-sterile, radiopharmaceuticals, and cytodrugs. There's another one is, I can see over here, you can see that one heading, also fifth one is there also. So sterile, non-sterile, radiopharmaceuticals, so many types, which drugs are not available in the market or in some research. But nowadays, you have seen the patient of COVID. So for COVID, there is no treatment, there is no drug available. So they have some drugs they have applied for that one. If it is not available, so the pharmacists have a capacity, have a knowledge that they can produce, they can manufacture at a hospital level. So what advantages? Now, what are the benefits of that? Why they are going to prepare the manufactured drugs in a hospital. But why don't they have to purchase in the market in a finished products? What happened? There are so many advantages because it is most efficacious. One thing, it is most efficacious means they have a good results, better and more economic products than purchased. Mostly, they are economical. When economical means they are cheaper as compared to the market. So, first one, efficacious, better and more economic product than purchased. Second heading, the alcoholic preparations are economical prepared over there. Now, further that they have, I have told you in your last semester, there is a research facilities in hospital. So facilities for research also when you have to manufacture your own products. Then to prepare commercial, the drugs which are not available in the market, and so these has to be manufactured prepared in that hospital. So which are not commercially available are manufactured in a hospital. Then what every hospital have a policy whether they have to prepare, whether they can purchase. As I told you, it is up to the hospital administration that they have to manufacture or whatever they have to do. So policing of manufacturing, first they must have a policy whether they have manufactured or whether they have to, but it is up to the administration of the hospitals. I have told you there is a pharmacy and therapeutic committee, whatever it is. So why? They have to, before going to make a policy, they have to check that quality of the drugs, quantity, how much is required, cost, purity, substance, whether what is the demand, whether it is required or not. So they have to follow these factors, that quality, quantity, cost effective, purity, because must have a good drugs, substance. Then whether the drug has a demand or not, that depends upon its policy making of a manufactured item. Before going to that, they have to consult that whether they can prepare a good quality drug, they have abundant quantity they can manufacture, must be cost. If it is economical then market, then they have to prepare whether the drug has specific demand or not. So that depends upon its policy board, policy making of a, where they decide whether they have to purchase or whether they have to manufacture by their own pharmacist. First, before going to manufacture, they have to have these things. If cost sheet for an IV, IV means intravenous products, the drugs which are used through the IV routes. So what they have to first point out the name of the products, which products is going to be manufactured, whether injectables of different types of, which are not available. So name of products, how much production is required in an annually. Then they have to manufacture. Then they have to check the cost of raw materials. Then direct wages, because you have to employ certain daily wages employees, because the pharmacists cannot manufacture each and everything. They must have the various types of, they have various type of staff also. They have technicians, they have whatever it is. So direct wages, how much they cost, the employees pay, expenses. Then there is various containers, closures, labels, hangers, where it has to be placed, overhead cost. Now they also have to check establishment salaries, because the person who are going to manufacture or prepare pharmaceuticals, how much cost to their salaries to the pharmacists, the technician, ancillary staff, whatever is. Rental, depreciation, when there can be drugs manufactured, there can be the depreciation cost becomes low. Mechanics and its maintenance, the cost, because when you have various gadgets, where machinery, its mechanics have also cost. Then they also run over the electricity, water, cost of production. All thing has to be governed, it has to be calculated before going to place in a policy that whether these are economical or not. So cost sheet for an IV product must have to be follows these overheads on which the drug has to be manufactured. Is it clear?
Sir, who make this cost sheet?
जी बेटा.
सर स्टूडेंट्स आपका वेट करें, आप इन्हें अलाउ कर दें.
बेटा अब ये तो again I have to go back, then again I have to come back. Okay, just a minute. Okay, we have passed. So tell them that they have to come on time. Any more? What is this Rabila? I told you have to come with proper noun. Who is this Rabila? Who is this Rabila?
सर ये वाजा है सर वाजा
वाजा जनानी कब से हो गया? Hey, I told you have to come with your proper names. Next time I will not allow you. You have to come with your name. Is it clear? Proper. What do you know about proper noun? Okay, okay. We have to go back. Don't talk because I have to. This will be hosted to the YouTube now also. Tell me, I must go tell you that. This all thing is now, this lecture is recorded and it will be hosted on the your website now also. So don't speak during the lecture. Is it clear? So what you have to do? So is it clear? Cost sheet, you have to prepare for that. Now policy making of manufacturing items, personal requirement. Because they are mostly they have trained personals, they have some ancillary staff also required. Pickers, whatever it is, there also. So you non-professionals and professionals. Professional means the pharmacists, the pharmacy technicians, they are professionals. Non-professional, the pickers, so many staff is also required. Non-professionals and professional staffs. So operators should be neat, orderly, reliable, alert, and good manual dexterity. They must be operators who have to run the machines, whatever they must be, because when you're going to manufacture a product, it must be neat and clean environment. Should be good health and periodic physical exams. No patient suffering from a disease is allowed. So whenever when you do your industrial pharmacy, in which every employee must have their certified by a doctor that he has a good health. Otherwise, that person will not be allowed. Sterile overall, spun polyethylene, because when you have to manufacture sterile products, you must be sterile. You must be free from any contaminations. So sterile coveralls, hoods, face, masks, shoe covers. So whenever you have an industrial tour, you have to visit any farm in an industrial pharmaceutical unit. You can be there. When you enter in a sterile unit, you have to wear separate dress. The dresses for sterile units are separate. You can't enter the sterile unit on your normal clothes. You have hoods, face masks, shoe covers, whatever it is required. Procedures, removing outside street clothes, so the other class can be removed. So you have to scrubbing also. You have to wash your hands, whatever is scrubbing, the hands and arms also. Nowadays, in this COVID, you are also washing your hands. So when you enter in a sterile unit, you have to scrub, means wash your hands and arms. And equipment, washrooms, not required to meet this special. So if they are only equipments, when the room, you may have seen your tableting machine in your university. So in such areas, there is no need of that. Unsterile area, there is no need. Sterile area, you have to prepare proper dresses also. Equipments you need, what you have to need? Water still and or demineralizers. So you may have to use various type of equipment when you are going to manufacture pharmaceuticals in a unit, in a pharmaceutical unit where the drugs has to be manufactured. So water still or demineralizers. You need ampules and vial washers, because before going to fill, you must have to wash, clean ampoules and vial washer. You need a vial washer. Autoclaves are also, to check the sterility, you must have autoclave. So sometimes you have to prepare ointments. Ointment or colloidal milks are also you must have in that area. Mixer tanks with electric agitators, because in your home, in your kitchen, you have various type of mixers. But for industrial purpose, they have a big tanks. They're big mixers, so they must be agitated with the help of an electric agitator, not by manual, not by hand. Jetted kettles also, steam jetted kettles are required. Filter papers, filter press are automatic filter and siphon. Because in your lab, you have different type of filter papers, but here you have automatic filter and siphon by which you have to manufacture. So these equipment has to be required. So parental and solutions laboratory, it's a long list of these equipments which are also required for solution. Parental, you may have aware in your class of industry pharmacy, storage equipment. After preparation, you must have the storage equipments, ampoules and vials, ampoule washing and drying equipments, dust-proof storage, cabinet lid. So you can know this list of drugs, various lift, as I told you, filters, candles, inspection table, whatever it is required for parental solution and lab purpose. Is it clear? Ointments, emulsions, lotions, suspension. For this, you may have mixing tanks, kettle, steam gas, or electricity, mixer, power-driven storage tank or pots, colloidal, whatever it is required. That is specialized pharmaceutical. You must have these type of gadget. You must have these type of equipments. Is it clear? Before going to go, you must tell me that there is a remaining time of 10 minutes, so I may complete this lecture. So equipment also for tablets, you may have tablet machines, disintegrators, powder mixer, mass mixer, granulators, ovens, coating pens. You must have to know equipment for repacking. So after manufacturing, they have to go for repacking. Every drug has to be repacked in desired containers. Then they also have labels. So washing machines, plastic siphon, corks, sorted bottles, tablet and capsule counting machine, labeling machines, stainless steel. So these are the requirements in a manufacturing unit in a small scale at a hospital. Record. Now what? Whenever you have to manufacture, you must have to keep the records. What we are doing when I'm taking your class, I'm also keeping your record also. So one thing, what's the master formula? Master formula is that in which the active and inactive, all type of ingredients are recorded and with their quantities. Active and inactive. Whatever required for injectables, tablets, emulsions, ointments. So that is the master formula. That master formula, every product have its a master. It is a very important because every product have a master formula. You can't manufacturers without a formula. Mostly in the girls, when you are doing your work in kitchen, you have various type of recipe. So these recipe, according to that, for manufacturing of that product, a pharmaceutical, you must master according with its pharmaceutical, it's a pharmacopoeia. Master formula according to it's a pharmacopoeia, whether it's a USP, where the USA, where the US state pharmaceutical, the British pharmacopoeia, whatever. So master formula must be under any pharmacopoeia. Prepared and endorsed, dated by competent responsible individual. So they have to give a master formula. According to that, you have to prepare drugs in the hospitals. Now what you have to do? Name of the product, description of the dosage form, and whether it's tablets, injectable, whatever it is. Completed list of ingredients and codes, what is required. Quantity by weight or volume of each ingredient, what is required for a manufacturer. A standard of each ingredient used in the product. Which type of standards they has to be done. Then an appropriate statement concerning any calculated excess of an ingredient. Sometimes during calculation, the weighing, there may excess can take place. So whatever it is, plus minus that, because in most of the product, 5 to 10% allowed the access of a ingredient. So how much is 100 milligram or whatever it is required, access should be recorded. After statement of theoretical yield at various, so what, there is a two things, theoretical yield and there is a practical yield. Theoretical yield, whatever you have placed on a paper, whatever you have, that is a theoretical yield. You have placed a paper, you have written this thing. Now what is a practical yield? These are very important. Practical yield after the product has to be prepared. When you have to found a finished product, because you are going to manufacture, suppose 100 injectables. That is your theoretical yield. Now what you have produced, whether it is a 95, whether it is a 99, whether it is a 105, that is your practical yield. Is it clear? Theoretical yield, whatever you have written on your paper, that is theoretical yield. Now how many type of quantity you have received, you have prepared. Maybe it is 95, maybe there's a loss during that evaporation, whatever it is, so the quantity can be less as compared to your theoretical yield. So sometimes it may be increased because you have less filling of your product, so it may be increase the number of product also. So that is a practical yield. Is it clear? Theoretical yield and
Yes sir,
practical
clear.
yield. ये बेटा
यस सर, वो नुमान को है ना ऐड कर ले
आप उसको बोलो कल की क्लास में आ जाएगा।
कल।
अभी फिर मुझे आप, अभी कितना टाइम बाकी है उसमें क्लास में? हाउ मेनी टाइम इज रिमेनिंग?
It's about 30 minutes, 37 minutes.
अभी किधर बाकी है? 37 हैव गॉन ना, बाकी 7 मिनट हैज टू गो।
Yeah.
सो अब कल आएगा, दे हैव टू कम ऑन टाइम प्लीज। अच्छा, you must appropriate statement of authority at various stages. Manufacturing and control instructions, specifications, precautions, special notations to be followed. So these all has to be recorded. Is it clear? Batch reproduction record. So you have to have a batch reproduction record also, because whenever you have to, first what you have to make a batch number, you must have a batch record. Accurate production of the manufacturing formula, production, product specifications, and correct master formula, direction are copied onto a working formula. So you have to prepare a batch record also. Checking quantity of ingredients, procedures, once completed, assign the control number, field for. So every batch has to be completed. Floor plan of a stress. Now, these are things we are going to manufacture. Now, what is a floor plan? Now, every pharmaceutical dosage form have different floors. You can't manufacture ointment on the same floor. You can't manufacture injectable on every dosage form have a designated area. Is it clear? Because you are in a university, your pharmacy department is a separate. Your business department is separate. The students of business department cannot come for class in pharmacy. Pharmacy cannot go in other departments. So similarly, every dosage form have designated area. Is it clear? As every dosage form, so which are going to manufacture, as I told you, injectables, emulsions, tablet. So it is a designated area. Now for sterile products area with its services, it must be figure. The plan must you have to know. Now cleanup area, walls coated with epoxy and vinyl polymeric film coating. Now the walls, because they cannot fix the dust, so they must be epoxy and vinyl polymeric film. The walls cannot be simple as you have walls in your home, whatever it is. So it must be epoxy walls, polymeric film coating. Now second is the clean area, then there's a preparation areas also. Then there's a septic area where no the growth of any can be have a septic area. Then they have quarantine area, because after the finish, the drug has to come in a quarantine area from where they are checked, analyzed whether the drug is pass or fail. According to that, they must have a quarantine area. Then they go for finishing and packaging area. If they have to clear that the drug is according to the analysis report, then it has to go for finishing and packaging area. So you have cleanup area, preparation area, aseptic area, quarantine area, and finishing and packaging area. Is it clear? Now, development of formula. What you need when you are going to manufacture. So vehicles, you must have vehicle stabilizers, debuffing agents, antioxidants, because there are active ingredients, there are inactive ingredients. Vehicle, you have to add stabilizers, buffering agents, antioxidants, preservatives, tonstate contributors, wetting agents, suspending and emulsions. You all know about these things. You may have learned in the industrial pharmacy. Is it clear? This year, have you learned about vehicle additives, stabilizers, buffers, and then QC test, quality test? You have sterile test, pyrogen testing, clarity testing, leaker testing. You have to follow this thing also. You know me? Where the class has finished? Okay. Still we have 10 minutes to go. So where vehicles, additives, stabilizers, buffering agents, they have to be added. Now for the sterile products, we have quality control testing. What is sterility testing, pyrogen testing, clarity testing, and leaker testing has to be done. Admixtures following activities: maintain master production record, initiate update and profile, labels and worksheets, assemble and record drugs, label, whatever you have to do in your record section. Manufacturing of receptor admixture following activities. You have to do prepare clean air environment, clean up, because for sterile for manufacturing, you must have a labor worker, assemble and record drugs, prepare clean air environment and clean up of personnel. You must, in a sterile area, you must have a clean air, because they must have HEPA filter over there by through which you can't receive, can't enter the contaminated air in that area. So personnel must be cleaned up. Drug addition you have to do. So these have to be followed in a aseptic admixture area. Now what this, the previous one was for sterile product, now for non-sterile formulations, pre-packs. So sometimes you have to use pre-pack purpose. You have to pre-packs, maintain master production records, enter information on pre-packing record, bulk drugs item from storage, prepare this. So before going to manufacture, you have to collect these all drugs in known as dispensing area. Now what is it? You have to first prepare, you have to collect these all drugs which are required in a dispensing area, weigh and measure according to the master formula. Master record, enter information on repacking record. So this has to be done in a pre-pack or a dispensing area. Now again, simple thing is that maintains master production records, complete batch record sheet, obtain necessary supplies from storage, prepared labels. So these all things which are required for a manufacturing of a non-sterile product or a sterile product. You have to assemble, you have to place in a dispensing area. First, you have to collect all the assemble these all things in dispensing area. So according to master formula, all these requirements, package products, inspect, verify final products, clean up, these all has to be placed in a dispensing area. There was another thing I think.